As for Bournemouth, well, they've had a lot longer to get ready for this game. They've benefited from extra rest and a much quieter transfer window than their host this evening. And Eddie Howe has made just one change. Junior Stanislas comes in for Adam Smith. They do, however, have Josh King back on the bench. Well, we're underway promptly and right on time. Chelsea kick off a string of 7 Premier League games happening on transfer deadline day. Looks as if Chelsea have done the bulk of their business, getting Olivier Giroud signed and putting Michy Batshuayi out on loan to Borussia Dortmund. But tonight, Eden Hazard will be the man tasked with scoring goals. Remember, you can tweet into @TalkSportLive. Let me know where you're listening from today and who you're supporting as well. And when I get a moment, I'll run you through the two sides. Lee Probert is the referee. The ball's just out of play for a Bournemouth throw-in over on the far side. Charlie Daniels knocking it down to Gosling and now to Nathan Aki, back against his old club. Being spread around this Bournemouth back four as they thump it along with Simon Francis. Gary Cahill with a slightly questionable defensive header, and Thibaut Courtois quick off his line to boot that ball away and into touch for a Bournemouth throw. So as there's a slight stoppage, I'll run you through the two sides in full. Courtois in goal, a defence of Azpilicueta, Christensen and Cahill. Midfield of Kante and Bakayoko. Then Alonso on the left, Zappacosta operating down the right. And then it's Pedro and Ross Barkley sitting in behind a lone Eden Hazard. On the bench, Drinkwater, Fabregas, Moses, Rudiger. And it's Hadou and Huda Odi along with Caballero, so the two youngsters there. Here's Bournemouth now with a chance with Stanislas, driven across goal but well wide. In fact, Courtois doesn't even have to dive down to get it, he can just stop that with his feet from going out of play. 2 minutes in, 0-0, the Bournemouth lineup. Begovic in goal, Francis, Cook, Aki and Daniels make up the back four. Fraser, Gosling and Lewis Cook make up the midfield. And then up front, Stanislas on the left, Ibe on the right, and Callum Wilson is the lone striker for Bournemouth this evening. On their bench, Arter, King, Musset, Pugh, Simpson, Sermon and Arter Baroque. Here's N'Golo Kante, keeping that ball around. Chelsea been in good form here at Stamford Bridge this season, and they've been in good form against Bournemouth. They've won 4 of the last 5 Premier League meetings against Bournemouth. In fact, they've won the last 4 in a row. And here's N'Golo Kante running through the centre circle, deep for Hazard, little flick, and then thumped out by Pedro trying to find Marcus Alonso. That's hooked away from danger by Gosling. Breaking down this right flank now is Callum Wilson. And Wilson managing to win Bournemouth a throw just on this near side. So Chelsea operating a 3-4-2-1 this evening. Bournemouth could be setting up with, it's either a 4-3-3, it's a 4-2-3-1, depending on how defensive they wish to be. Here they are, in fact they've won a corner. It's the first corner of the evening. Will be taken from the right hand side with Stanislas standing over it. Stanislas with delivery, it's a low ball, it's cleared by the first Chelsea defender, which is Zappacosta, and it's behind for another corner kick to Bournemouth. It's played short here to Jordan Ibe. 20 yards out with a drive that deflected off of Bakayoko. Christensen will give chase, as will Aki, who will watch it run clear for a throw-in over on that far side. Throw for Bournemouth on the left. That was a dangerous effort from Jordan Ibe, which took a big deflection off of Bakayoko. I mean, you can tweet into @TalkSportLive. Let me know where you're listening from today. Let me know who you're supporting, and let me know if you're happy or unhappy so far with your club's dealings in this January transfer window. Courtois plays out from the back. Cahill under a bit of pressure, but composes himself and can just lay it off here for Christensen to come forward. Plays a lovely pass down the right flank. Barkley will try and give chase. Simon Francis will come across and just roll it back safely here to Begovic against his old club. To play it short to Ryan Fraser, being hemmed in by Marcus Alonso. The pressure working for Chelsea, and Cahill winning that ball back with a great tackle. Now Hazard off to Pedro, nice one too. Hazard has kept his run onside. He's inside the penalty area, struggling to break free. Hazard with a curler to the far post, just wide, and Chelsea win themselves a corner. Fleet-footed work by Eden Hazard. Got inside the box, trying to wrestle free of three Bournemouth defenders for whipping that ball across goal. Looked as if Zappacosta was coming in at the far post. He couldn't get a touch on it. Chelsea, though, with the corner, which they've played short, into the feet of Barkley inside the penalty area. Barkley eased off possession, helped out by Hazard. Beaten to the ball by Aki. Barkley wins it back. Some neat footwork from Barkley, who goes down. Referee Lee Probert not interested, and Bournemouth can break it. It's 3-on-3. Jordan Ive, though, running up against Azpilicueta. Strong tackle from the Spaniard. Wins the ball back, and it's out of play. Off of Jordan Ive last for Chelsea to win the throw-in. So taken quickly down by their own corner flag. Now they'll thump it long upfield as Barkley tries to get a little touch on it, but he can't. He's eased off the ball by Steve Cook, and that's out for throw-in over on the far side. Diagonal ball forward by Ryan Fraser is misplaced, and Chelsea get the ball back with a throw-in over on the far side. Ball now down to the feet of Gary Cahill into Bakayoko. Looks up, the long diagonal ball over to this right flank, just about kept in play by Zappacosta. Pedro will try and give chase, operating on the right wing. Kante's won it back. Pedro with a chest, heavy touch, but Hazard can recover and give the ball here to Barkley. Turns to face the goal, encouraged to shoot from 30 yards out by the supporters. Thought against it, and then played a poor pass straight to Ryan Fraser and giving the ball back to Bournemouth. Jordan Ive running forward, but Christensen comes across to cover the danger well and knock that ball into touch. First tweet of the evening from Peter Georges and Peter Mazunga, listening from Uganda tonight. Thanks for broadcasting these matches. Looking forward to a 3-0 Chelsea win with goals from Alonso, Hazard and Azpilicueta. Thanks for getting in touch, Peter. You can do just that by tweeting into @TalkSport Live. Let me know where you're listening from, who you're supporting, and if you are happy so far with your club's dealings in the January transfer window. Chelsea, if you hadn't heard, signing Olivier Giroud for £18 million. Michy Batshuayi going to Dortmund on loan, as Christensen is eased off the ball legally by Junior Stanislas, and that's a free kick for Chelsea. So far being forced to this high pressing Bournemouth line to play the majority of the game inside their own half. Courtois will thump the ball long upfield to absolutely no one. Nobody in a Chelsea shirt was anywhere near that, and that's out for a throw-in. And a slight air of desperation around Stamford Bridge. Very happy with the opening few minutes. One bright spark when Hazard's curled shot/cross just went wide of the far post, but apart from that, Begovic untested so far. Courtois has had very little to do from a Bournemouth perspective either. Here's Kante winning that ball back for Chelsea on the right side of the midfield, giving the ball off to a very packed right flank with Zappacosta struggling to find a bit of space. He looked to win a throw-in, but it's gone the other way. And Bournemouth with the throw. 9 minutes in, goalless between Chelsea and Bournemouth. Remember, there are 7 Premier League games tonight, including this one. 4 of which, including this one, kicked off at 7:45. And the 3 other games are all goalless as it stands. Remember, Man City, West Brom, Stoke, Watford, and that big game between Tottenham and Man United kick off at 8 o'clock. Long ball forward by Chelsea, but it's an easy collection for Asmir Begovic. It's Pedro with the intended through ball. It'll be interesting to see how easy or how difficult it's going to be for Chelsea to build attacks tonight with Eden Hazard operating as the false nine. He has done so before when Murat has been out injured, but normally they've had Michy Batshuayi as a standby on the bench. He's left the club today to go to Borussia Dortmund, and the new replacement, Olivier Giroud, is here, but he wasn't signed in time to be involved in the matchday squad, so he's watching on from the bench with Antonio Conte and the likes of David Luiz and Willian, who aren't fit enough to play this evening. 10.5 minutes gone. Still Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Here's Aki, short pass to this left flank to find Stanislas, and then smashed forward by Aki, high up in the air, chested down by Wilson. Now to Stanislas to pick it up once more on the halfway line. Ball at his feet up against Bakayoko, played infield to Lewis Cook, who will run forward, ignores the run of Wilson, carries on does Cook, tries to help it over to Daniels, who's just kept it in play, low cross deflected behind, and Bournemouth win their third corner of the evening. Might well see a lot of counter-attacking football from Bournemouth. Might be the only way to really try and break down Chelsea. So Stanislas over on this left flank will take the corner. Aki is in the box, as is Steve Cook for Bournemouth. It's whipped into the near post. Cahill with a flicked header, almost helping it on into the path of Cook. Now back out to the edge of the box. Francis with a flying effort. That's blocked by the Chelsea defenders. Ball's not been fully cleared. Back here for Stanislas, whipped into goal, and an easy take for Courtois, who claims his path was blocked by Callum Wilson as he tried to make a quick getaway. With Stanislas playing a 1-2 with Daniels before a 20-yard curler, which was hit solidly, but there wasn't really enough elevation or movement on the ball to trouble Thibaut Courtois. Bakayoko spinning away from Lewis Cook deep inside his own half, gives the ball off to N'Golo Kante, and now Azpilicueta floated ball forward looking for Hazard, but that's headed out of play by Steve Cook for a throw-in. Thank you so much for your tweets so far to @TalkSport Live. If you do want to get involved. Jordan says he's listening while at work here in New Jersey. Let's go Chelsea. E. Harv says, I love me some blues. This is Erin from Columbus in the USA. Alright, thanks very much getting in touch, Erin. And 98 Grad says, listening from the mountains of western North Carolina, up the cherries, shock the EPL world. Thanks for getting in touch, all of you. A nice picture as well that you sent in, Erin, that's very nice. Nice picture of you and your partner watching Real Madrid-Chelsea, I think when they did the America tour. Here's Hazard into N'Golo Kante. Back to Hazard again, back across goal. It misses Pedro and Barkley, and then it's cleared away from the penalty spot from Ryan Fraser. Well, Chelsea finally cutting open this Bournemouth defence. As you normally find with their cherries, once you do cut them open, there's normally something rocky and hard in the middle, and that was Ryan Fraser to clear the ball away, stopping them from getting a shot on goal. Here's Bakayoko to Ross Barkley. Pass over to the right flank for Azpilicueta. Now finding Pedro. Good footwork from him. Runs across the middle of the midfield and over to the left flank, where Cahill will help the ball over to Alonso. Now Barkley dropping deep, flicking it off to Bakayoko. Chelsea doing some nice work here with some neat touches. Hazard just manages to ride the challenge from Aki and gives off to Pedro. Pedro with a drive from 20 yards out, but it's well over the bar. All the build-up play was there from Chelsea. Nice work between Hazard and Bakayoko before eventually giving it off to Pedro. He spun away from Steve Cook and then let fly with that dependable left foot of his, but just couldn't quite keep the shot on target. And the ball just sailed over the crossbar. 15 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Ball knocked into space by Bournemouth down this left wing. Collected by Callum Wilson, who's managed to isolate Christensen there and give the ball off to Jordan Ibe. Rush to join him in support. Ibe, though, finds trouble when he gets doubled up on by Azpilicueta and Zappacosta. Here's Stanislas with a through pass, but that's an easy take in the end. I'll let you know about some of the other games tonight as well, because Tottenham have taken the lead against Manchester United through Christian Eriksen. And Brighton 1-0 up against Southampton in their game. All the other games so far are goalless, including this one, but Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, and Southampton 0, Brighton 1. Courtois clears the ball away upfield. Can't quite find Alonso. Cahill comes in with a strong tackle on Jordan Ibe to knock that ball into touch. Olivier Giroud just pictured very cold on the just behind the Chelsea bench in the stands. Made the move to the blue half of London earlier this afternoon. You can keep up to date with all those deals on talksport.com. Here's Barkley now to Marcus Alonso. Cahill rolling it short to Christensen. Chelsea now just inside the Bournemouth half, but the whole of their outfield contingent are operating in Bournemouth's half at the moment. That's how much they're trying to push Bournemouth back. Cahill now just dropping behind the halfway line to play a short pass to Bakayoko, who turns to run into the Bournemouth half once more and finds Ross Barkley. Barkley looks up, low pass over to the right flank to spread the play. Zappacosta through ball, almost finding Eden Hazard. There was lots of Bournemouth defenders appealing for offside. Fortunately, Nathan Aki cut the initial pass out and the question wasn't fully asked. Now Hazard tries to do a through ball to Zappacosta, but that's been played off of him by Charlie Daniels. Good bit of defending off of Zappacosta last, and out for a goal kick. So far Chelsea have had more possession than Bournemouth, 61% to 31. But home side yet to turn it into anything fruitful. Happened on a very good run of form here at Stamford Bridge. Had won 7 in a row in the Premier League before coming up against a tough Leicester City side where they drew 0-0. If you are joining us late, you haven't missed anything. It's 0-0 here at Stamford Bridge, but Antonio Conte making 4 changes. The big blows tonight: Morata out with a back injury, David Luiz and Willian missing out, but Ross Barkley, Courtois, Azpilicueta and Bakayoko returning to the side. And just as Bournemouth were looking to break here down the right flank with Ryan Fraser, Christensen was knocked to the ground by Callum Wilson. So Fraser was running through down this right flank. Christensen got his heels clipped and went to ground, and the referee Lee Probert just stopped the attack. So there's obviously enough contact from Wilson to warrant a free kick, with a slight stroke of luck for Chelsea. Ball launched long upfield. Round of applause now going round Stamford Bridge on the 19th minute to pay tribute to Chelsea fan Jack Winter, who's a season ticket holder. And I know he was a very popular person with the fans inside Stamford Bridge, and the young Chelsea supporters used to hang out in the shed part of the ground. Sadly lost his life earlier this year. And Bournemouth trying to build attack through Jordan Ibe, misplaced pass, and goal kick for Chelsea. Remember, you can tweet in to @TalkSport_Live. Let me know where you're listening from today and who you're supporting. So far, only 2 goals in the Premier League. Brighton 1, Southampton 0, and Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Just as Ryan Fraser played the ball forward for Callum Wilson, he went down under the challenge of Christensen, and Wilson grabbed the ball. The referee didn't give a foul for the push, but he did for the handball from Wilson. And just remember a few minutes ago that Wilson was called up for a foul on Christensen for clipping his legs. Interesting to see what battle is going to emerge from those two, as Alonso goes in high on Ryan Fraser, challenging for that ball in the air, and that's a free kick given Bournemouth's way, which draws a sarcastic cheer and round of applause from the travelling Bournemouth supporters. They've got to do their best to try and keep in touching distance of the Premier League mid-table. Bournemouth 25 points, just 2 above Stoke, who are in the bottom 3. Lots of other clubs, including Newcastle and Brighton, sniffing around Bournemouth. Brighton, coincidentally, are leading by a goal to 0, so that will not have helped Eddie Howe's cause. They'll be nervously looking over their shoulders as the evening goes on, if they do go behind. Neat footwork here before eventually being cleared by Pedro. Only as far as Ryan Fraser. Chelsea haven't got it out and away. Here's Gosling, pass over to the left flank. Lewis Cook scurries to get hold of the ball, but Charlie Daniels helps him out. He backtracks and then turns to face the Chelsea goal. Running down this left flank up against Zappacosta. Slaloms infield, cutting between 2 players, but lost possession. N'Golo Kante scoops the ball forward and into the path of Zappacosta, but he's blocked off by Lewis Cook, and that is out for a throw-in over on the far side. You can tweet into @TalkSport_Live. Let me know where you're listening from today and who you're supporting. Cahill, short pass to Alonso, smashing it away with his right foot, straight into the middle of the midfield, giving the ball to Bournemouth and headed forward into the path of Callum Wilson, who chests it down, now gives it off to Ryan Fraser on the right flank to Simon Francis. Through ball to find Wilson. Wilson skips away from Christensen, gets to the byline, drags it back, held up here by Stanislas with the back heel. That's just about blocked out by 3 or 4 Chelsea defenders, rushing back to get to the 6-yard box. Bournemouth cutting open Chelsea down that right flank. Callum Wilson beating Christensen, getting past his man, driving to the byline. The low cross though found Stanislas, but he had his back to goal and too much work to do. Worrying signs for Chelsea. Encouraging though if you're a Bournemouth fan already out. Tweet from Mezolt Bay says, listening at work here in New York. Great way to power through the afternoon lull. Go Chelsea. Thanks, Melissa. I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. Very nice to visit the Big Apple. Bit too much hustle and bustle for my liking, but wasn't too bad to visit for a few days. Here's Stanislas to Jordan Ibe. Ibe on the edge of the box, straight down the throat of Courtois. Another sighter from the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Jordan Ibe letting fly after cutting inside of Christensen. Trying to show him onto his weaker foot. Jordan Knight with a left-footed lashed effort, but Thibaut Courtois is a very tall, towering goalkeeper. It's very easy and just to pat that ball down and make the save. Here's Hazard on this left flank now by the touchline, finding Alonso on the overlap. Still Alonso, ball skipped up off the turf, kept it in play. Alonso's cross cleared by Aki, down here for Kante. Kante running forward but running into players. Bournemouth just about clearing the ball away. Cook with the challenge. It's a throw-in for Chelsea. Alonso throws the ball down to Gary Cahill. 25 minutes of fly past, but it's still 0-0. Azpilicueta, the Spaniard, looks for options. Plays infield to Christensen, and the Dane has played this ball straight out of play and then collapsed to the ground. That is not a good sign for Antonio Conte or Andreas Christensen, because the young Danish defender, I don't think is going to be able to continue here. And this will be that Antonio Rudiger will probably have to come on. He's stripped off and ready. But Christensen, who hasn't been able to finish his last few games for Chelsea, I would know because he's cost me fantasy points coming off before the hour mark when they've had clean sheets, so thanks for that. He's not going to be able to finish this game by the looks of it. He's gone down holding his hamstring. He passed that ball himself straight out of play, so he knew full well just what sort of state his body was in. And Andreas Christensen is going to have to leave the pitch here. His evening is over. Jay Chaz has tweeted in, says, come on Chelsea, you can go second place with a win tonight. Listening from Canada. Thanks for getting in touch. Jay, I'd love to know whereabouts in Canada you're listening from. And Alfred Bianco Addo says, at home listening from Kumsai Ghana. Come on Chelsea. And one man that has come on now is Antonio Rudiger, who's replaced Christensen. Young Danish defender unable to last under half an hour, coming off with a hamstring injury. Cleared away by Courtois, upfield, helped on by Alonso, now down here to Hazard, 30 yards out, right in the centre of the midfield, spreads the play over to Zappacosta on the right flank, up against Charlie Daniels, the cross comes in, it's overhit, Alonso was lurking at the far post, Ryan Fraser, the pint-sized terrier of a midfielder, came across to deal with the danger and knock it behind safely to concede the corner. Whipped into the near post, headed up in the air and away by Bournemouth, taken down by Barkley, poor touch though, misplaced pass, which Jordan Knight managed to latch onto, take full advantage of, but Ryan Fraser with a first time effort got it all wrong and just gives the ball straight back to Courtois. It was about 45 yards away from goal, but a well-placed and a well-timed through ball would have released Callum Wilson. Instead he goes straight back to the Chelsea goalkeeper. Here's Pedro now, giving the ball off to Alonso. Short pass infield to Bakayoko. Looks up and sprays the ball on the ground to Cesar Azpilicueta. Now infield to N'Golo Kante. His pass was just slightly ahead of Eden Hazard, who couldn't recover, but Alonso gets to the second ball. And now on to Pedro on the left flank. Pedro with a couple of step overs, gets to the byline, tried to deliver the cross, but once again, Ryan Fraser, who's had to do all the defensive work to try and keep Chelsea at bay, concedes yet again another corner for Chelsea. Bournemouth struggling to contain Chelsea at the moment with their movement, but they are restricting them to set pieces. Corner comes into the near post, headed just over the top of goal and onto the roof of the net. Gary Cahill was a whisker away from giving Chelsea the lead. It's a well-placed corner, and Gary Cahill rose well, got away from his marker, head in his hands. He knows how close it was. He out-jumped Nathan Aki, just couldn't quite get that header down, and it cushioned itself onto the roof of the net. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Chelsea winning the ball back over on the right side of the midfield. Interesting battle going on between the likes of Fraser, Gosling, Lewis Cook and Bakayoko, Kante and Hazard. And here is Pedro dropping deep. Barkley's made a run, as has Hazard. Pedro looks up, sprays it all the way to the left flank to find Marcus Alonso in acres of space. His cross, Hazard misses the header. Oh, what a chance! It goes behind for a Chelsea corner, but Eden Hazard maybe should have scored. Lovely pass by Pedro to pick out Alonso on the left flank, all on his own. A well-weighted, whipped cross for Eden Hazard, and he flicked his head expecting to make contact with the ball, but the Belgian missed and got it all wrong. Instead, Chelsea have to settle for a corner. Hazard delivers the cross, it gets charged down by Bournemouth. Jordan Ives kept it in play over on that far left touchline, and a through ball here to release Charlie Daniels up against Azpilicueta. He's got the pace, but N'Golo Kante comes right the way across to recover. Excellent bit of defensive work by N'Golo Kante. I say 90% of the world is covered by water and the rest is covered by N'Golo Kante. Just showed his defensive prowess there. Excellent reading of the game. That's a lovely through pass by Alonso down this right flank for Zappacosta. Acres of space waiting for players to get in the middle, drags the low cross, but no one is there arriving in the box for Chelsea, and it's cleared away. 32 minutes gone, still 0-0. Ball threaded forward for Hazard. Hazard cuts back, Aki is there ahead of him. Aki though just shields the ball away from Hazard, is able to get in front. Chelsea almost winning the ball back with Pedro, who battles with Daniels. He does clear, but Zappacosta knocks it forward again. Hazard to Barkley. Barkley spins back to goal. Barkley with the shot, took a big deflection safely into the arms of Begovic. Well, Chelsea are piling up the half chances. Bournemouth knew they were in for a battle about 6 or 7 minutes into this game when Hazard cut them open. Now they really are being torn apart, almost at will it seems, by Chelsea. But yet to find a way through are Antonio Conte's men. But here's Hazard trying to capitalise an offensive mistake. He couldn't quite get there. A great recovery challenge from Steve Cook. Misplaced pass. Steve Cook slid in just to get there ahead of Hazard. Begovic was way off of his line, completely stranded in no man's land. Had Hazard got there, and I'm barely getting a chance to catch my breath. Through ball forward, eventually recovered by Begovic, and now Bournemouth will get the ball down and try and settle things a bit for their perspective. Bournemouth try to win a throw-in. Stanislas up against Azpilicueta, but it was deemed to come off the Bournemouth player last. Get to your tweets in just a minute as Stanislas slides in to win the ball back inside Chelsea's half on this left flank. Jordan Ibe working it back to Nathan Aki, back at his old club of course after making the move to Bournemouth. It was a hold up like this time last year when he wanted to move to Bournemouth. Chelsea didn't want to let him go as they wanted him as cover before eventually letting him enjoy Eddie Howe's side in the summer. Pedro upping the ball to Zappacosta, rushing across the halfway line is the Italian. Nice footwork up against Stanislas. Unfortunately, the numbers game go against him, do not work in his favour there. Outnumbered 3-1 by the Bournemouth defenders, and he's lost the ball. Tweet here from Ryan, says listening at work in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada, hoping to hear Chelsea drop points so Liverpool can gain some ground. Thanks for getting in touch. Andy, who's listening from work in Dallas, Texas, yeehaw! Hoping for a Chelsea win. Sorry about that, Andy, you probably get it all the time. And Mark Garner Jr. listening in Montreal. Thanks for getting in touch for that one as well. You can tweet into @TalkSport Live. Let me know where you're listening from today and who you're supporting. 35 minutes gone. It is Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. It's also Everton 1, Leicester 0. Theo Walcott has scored his first goal for Everton. It's Southampton 0, Brighton 1, Glenn Murray with a penalty there, and Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, Christian Eriksen with the goal. You're all up to date because all the other games are goalless. And I'm sure some of you, wherever you are in the world, you'll be staying up. Probably not as late as we are here in England for the transfer deadline window. But that will be closing at 11 o'clock English time, so it's 20 past 8 here, so I'll be closing in just under 3 hours time. But so far, Bournemouth have managed to shut the door on Chelsea, restricting them so far to goalless stalemate. 37 minutes in. Chelsea 15 points off leaders Manchester City as they started the day with a chance to go perhaps into second. Could leapfrog Manchester United. And 9 points worse off in this stage last season. Chelsea, when they were top of the Premier League, they were 9 points clear of Tottenham back then. Of course, going on to win the Premier League. Doesn't look as if they'll retain the title this season, barring a massive collapse from Pep Guardiola's side. As it stands, oh, they are 1-0 up against West Brom. It was 0-0 last time I checked. It is 1-0 to Manchester City in that one, as Ross Bartley gets tripped. Fernandinho got the goal there for Manchester City. Kieran Lash says, listening with my morning coffee in Christchurch, New Zealand. Up the Blues, thanks Kieran. Not be too bad the transfer window for you. 3 hours time, be what, middle, or be early afternoon, wouldn't it? If you had to follow that all the way through. Steve Cook knocks this ball out of play for a throw in for Chelsea over on the far side. And now the ball back here for Cahill. And then Rudiger on to replace the injured Andreas Christensen. Alonso infield to N'Golo Kante. Kante, short pass, finding Eden Hazard. Helps it along to the right flank for Zappacosta, the Italian, up against Charlie Daniels. Cuts in on his left foot. Zappacosta whips the cross in. Header across goal by Alonso, just wide of the far post. Once he got the header down, there was a little bit of spin on the ball. Begovic, though, was pretty confident it was always going wide. Just at the last moment, it started to spin a bit more, but it did just teasingly go close of that far post as it trickled wide of the goal. .39 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. 6 minutes to go before half time. This has flown by. Chelsea, though, only had 4 shots on goal. Bournemouth, in fact, have had 5, so out shooting them, and Bournemouth had 2 on target. Chelsea yet to test Begovic, and a couple of efforts that have killed just wide of the far post, such as that header moments ago from Alonso, and Hazard's effort. He's just struggling to keep the ball in play here, Eden Hazard on the left flank. So it's out for a throw-in, and Gary Cahill headed the ball onto the roof of the net, but that's pretty much been it for Chelsea. Thank you for the tweets so far as well to @TalkSport Live. Listening from New York City is Mike. He says, I'm at work even though I shouldn't be. Come on, you Blues. Shouldn't be at work, Mike. Come on. Priorities. Premier League's on. And Mohammed Ollie says, listening live at my desk in Rhode Island, USA. Come on, Chelsea. Thanks, Mohammed Ollie. Super Bowl soon. New England Patriots will be in that. And the Philadelphia Eagles. That will be a late night here in the UK. Here's Ed Hazard, just getting away from Dan Gosling in the middle of the midfield. Still Hazard, 40 yards out, now 30 yards, now edge of the box. Hazard with the run, gives off to Zappacosta. Low cross is deflected, ball almost falling to Bartley. Now to Azpilicueta. His cross he claimed with an arm. Referee is not interested at all. He dummies the ball and leaves it for Zappacosta. Now to Ross Barkley. Through ball for Pedro, who is just offside as he turned it back for Hazard to knock into the empty net. But the offside flag denies Chelsea going ahead. Pedro sprung the offside trap, he thought, denied by the assistant referee. And the cut back to Hazard will not count. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Good work by Hazard to eventually get it away to Zappacosta. His cross was blocked. And then eventually when Pedro was played in, just couldn't quite arc the run. Just a reminder, Chelsea do not have Willian on the bench, nor Alvaro Morata. He's out with a back injury. The only attacking options they have are Moses and Fabregas, and maybe Danny Drinkwater if you class him. Bakayoko with a poor pass out of play. Throw in on this right flank now for Bournemouth. Theo Walcott has got a second for Everton. 2-0 there to them against Leicester. Chem says, come on Chelsea. That's David. Thank you, David, listening from Lacoste before going to bed. Good priorities. I like that, David. Well done. Bakayoko now winning the ball back for Chelsea, then losing out to Dan Gosling, coming across the halfway line, giving off to Jordan Ibe. There's space here for Bournemouth. They look up. Gosling assessing his options as he runs through the midfield before just dropping the ball 5 yards behind him for Simon Francis, who sprays a high-angled ball to the left flank, which is cut out by Zappacosta. Bouncing ball chested down by Eden Hazard despite pressure from behind from Nathan Ake, who's just nipping at his heels. Stanislas will try and play it off Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta's got to the rebound and kept the ball in play. Through pass now, trying to find Hazard coming across. Here's Steve Cook. And Gosling now working the ball over to the left flank for Stanislas. 2 minutes to go before half time. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Launched long by Bournemouth, dealt with by the header of Gary Cahill. Ball finally knocked down by Azpilicueta to Pedro on the halfway line. Through ball to release Eden Hazard up against Steve Cook, who's forced the Belgian wide, but Hazard will turn and run again. Waiting for support. Hazard tackled but kept the ball in play and recovers it. Still Hazard for Chelsea. Doesn't want to give up possession. Sprays it into the middle of the midfield for Antonio Rudiger, who's joined the attack. Gives it off to Marcus Alonso. Now back to Rudiger. Infield to Cahill. To N'Golo Kante. Wide for Zappacosta. N'Golo Kante again to Barkley. Spinning away from Ake. And Barkley's gone down, picked himself up. He's going to be okay by the looks of it. And that lofted through pass intercepted by Steve Cook and knocked into touch. We've got 30 seconds of normal time remaining. Tottenham 2-0 up against Manchester United. Phil Jones, the known goal. Here, still 0-0. Bournemouth taking their time with the throw-in. They'll be very happy to have held Chelsea in this first 45 minutes and keeping the game at 0-0, or have they? Here's Pedro running forward, sliding tackle from Nathan Ake. Bakayoko gets the loose ball. We have got 1 minute of added on time here at Stamford Bridge. Marcus Alonso goes down the left flank. Alonso's pass infield for Kante. Wide here for Azpilicueta. Now to N'Golo Kante, spinning away, 30 yards out. N'Golo Kante should have shot, goes down, holds on to the ball, tries to recover. He's been dispossessed though by Stanislas, and then eventually Nathan Ake will punt it away for Bournemouth upfield. It's off of Lewis Cook for a throw-in, but N'Golo Kante did all the hard work, spun away from his man, created a pocket of space, and then for some reason just wouldn't let go with the shot. Didn't want to pull the trigger, wanted someone else to help him out. In the end, nothing came of it. Last chance here for Chelsea perhaps. Eden Hazard 30 yards out, puts Steve Cook on his backside, now gives the ball over to the right flank. Zabacosta with the cross, cleared away off the head of Nathan Ake. Bakayoko runs across and wins the ball, but that will be the last action of the first half. Chelsea being held by Eddie Howe's resilient Bournemouth. They've huffed and puffed, but they cannot blow the cherries down so far. Asmir Begovic largely untroubled on his return to Stamford Bridge, and Ross Barkley yet to sparkle on his Premier League debut for Chelsea. At the break, it's Antonio Conte's men 0, Bournemouth 0. Now back to Tom Rennie, where you can enjoy the next 10-15 minutes or so of Tottenham versus Manchester United. I'll be back in 10 minutes time for the second half here on TalkSport Live.
Dele Alli's just about to pull the trigger, and I think he's got his body between Valencia and the ball. Valencia has to go through him to get it. We will see in a minute.
United give it away again in the halfway area. Good challenge there by Dele Alli. He's gone to ground. Referee's given a free kick against Dele Alli, who just needs to keep a lid on it here. We know he's hot-headed. We know he's the kind of guy who can maybe lose it in a game. Now, Kev, we are getting a replay on the monitors, and that is a penalty every single day of the week.
Yeah, and twice on a Sunday. It's exactly as we called it. It looks like he's got the ball, because he does, but he's had to go. Dele Alli has used his body really well. He's had to go through both of Dele Alli's legs to get there. It is a stonewall penalty.
Not given by Andre Mariner. Took plenty of Dele Alli. What a risky challenge, and it's fair to say what a poor challenge from Antonio Valencia, as Alexis Sanchez chips one out to the opposite wing towards Martial. Davis has that covered. That is Alexis Sanchez's move. He does do it repeatedly in games, and so far Spurs have dealt with it. And they're coming forward as Kane finds Heung-min Son, who gets a drive at goal from the left-hand side, but South Korean striker Son never really got his head over that ball, and it flies over the top.
He got a bit excited, didn't he? I think he's chosen the wrong option there. He's got Eriksen coming up to his right-hand side. He's got Trippier coming up to his right-hand side. He's got Dele Alli on his left. Got to be excited there. Korean, just keep the ball, keep it moving, get it wide, get in the box. It served him much better on that occasion, I think.
No big deals have gone down in the transfer window whilst we've been on air, but I can tell you that Olivier Giroud, having played for Arsenal last night, is at Chelsea's game this evening against Bournemouth. Half-time 0-0 there, and another reason why there probably shouldn't be a transfer window right now is because they could have done with Olivier Giroud tonight playing up front, it seems.
Absolutely could have done.
Here, 34 minutes gone, Spurs coming forward, they're leading 2-0, they're crossing on the right hand side. Oh, Trippier fired one across, it rather hit Harry Kane, not sure he was the intended target, and ricochets away for a goal kick.
Tottenham have been fantastic, haven't they, this first 34 minutes, playing with real intent, real pace.
United have gone over the top a lot towards Lukaku, and I'm not sure any of it has really worked out. Quick hello to Zachary at TalkSport Live. He says, what a sweet near post finish from Phil Jones.
Well, he did tuck it away quite well, I have to say.
If that was Harry Kane,
yeah,
we'd be drooling over it. As a central defender, it's the kind of thing that gives you nightmares. I always remember my first own goal for Village Royals under 11s against Tigers, and I scored an own goal, and everyone was like, shake it off, Tom. I went for a good 40-minute sulk. I think I asked to get substituted at half time. Still basically the same person. Hopefully Phil Jones will shake it off quicker.
It's not nice. Could have been the third round of the FA Cup at Ewood Park.
Is that yours?
Yeah, back pass, and it actually hit the keeper where he puts the bobble when they do the dig on the 6-yard box for his to tee it up. Yeah. It actually hit that and went over his foot.
Oh, the old Tim Flowers one.
It barely reached the net. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that went down as an own goal when it really should.
You've suffered, mate. You've suffered. I blame the pitch. I'm taking that off you officially.
I blame the keeper.
I have that power.
Don't dig the pitch up.
2 minutes to go into half time here, and Andre Mariner is feeling the wrath right now of the Wembley crowd. Dyer has gone in, he's won the ball against Paul Pogba, who's gone down. The referee's given the free kick to Pogba. I think it's probably fair enough on the replay.
Yeah, it's a free kick, yeah. He's got the ball, yes, but he knows what he's doing. He's left a bit on Pogba. His boots come off. It's a foul, yes. It's no more than that, I don't think.
Doesn't like it though, Maurizio Pochettino. Spurs fans don't like it either.
It's a terrific game of football, I would say. Real good pace to it, lots of quality, and even though Tottenham are 2 up, United they're not out of this. Next goal, as they always say at 2-0, really, really important.
Really pleased that Adam Bridge, who was meant to be commentating this evening, broke down the A40. That's why I'm here, and I couldn't be much happier than I am right now to be watching this fantastic game of football and broadcasting it live on Premier League Live. Half time in our 7:45 UK time kickoffs, by the way. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0, Everton 2, Leicester 0, Newcastle 0, Burnley 0. Newcastle missed a penalty there. Southampton 0, Brighton 1. Seagulls scoring a penalty in that game. United coming forward on the left-hand side with Ashley Young, who takes it just over the halfway. Forward to Alexis Sanchez, back to Jesse Lingard. 1-2 with Pogba, back to Lingard again. Out to Alexis Sanchez. Lingard makes a run forward. Here he is now. 1-2 with Alexis Sanchez, but not quite into his path. Not quite on the same wavelength yet. Challenged by Trippier. Alexis Sanchez can't keep that ball in. Throw in left-hand side. Manchester United. Ashley Young will take it. Taken towards Nemanja Matic. Back to Young again. Forward to Alexis Sanchez, who has got 4 players around him. One is Dele Alli, another is Eric Dyer. They combine to win it back for Spurs. Ericsson then tries to dribble away from Ashley Young. Can't do so. Ali getting stuck in on Sanchez. And it's poked forward by Harry Kane. It's almost like that Village Royals game out there. Breaks up towards Harry Kane, who goes down, and that is going to be a free kick to Tottenham inside their own half. As Andre Mariner wants to have a little word here with Phil Jones with the challenge.
Yeah, it was. We had about 20 seconds of playground football there. There must have been 11 players all on that near touch line there. All ricocheting like a pinball, and then Jones goes through the back of Harry Kane, and rightfully, I think, gets booked.
What a performance from Tottenham Hotspur so far, combining the brilliance of their play with the battling spirit in the centre midfield shown there by Ali and Dyer. Late challenge there on Nemanja Matic, this time from Nemanja Matic, on Dele Alli. Referee allows play to go on. Dyer tries to slip the ball down the channel towards Harry Kane's run. Phil Jones steps across to win it back to Ashley Young, who tried to jink away from Kieran Trippier. Little chip, but chips it out of play for a throw on the right hand side to Spurs. Trippier will take it, looks for the run of Harry Kane, who's spun away from Jones. He'll find Ericsson, will he? No. Young steps across, gets there and clears. Only as far as Kieran Trippier. Here's Dele Alli, who's absolutely loving it out there right now in the thrust and heat of battle. This time there's a foul by Ashley Young on this near side. They're all getting stuck in, things are getting tetchy, things are getting feisty. Ericsson having a word with the assistant referee, and it's a free kick to Spurs.
Manchester United have got to be careful here because they're getting increasingly frustrated. It's a foul, I'm not sure what Ashley Young is protesting about. Ericsson heads it, goes in with a knee into his midriff. Clear foul.
Doesn't need too much invitation to have a big old moan up there, does he, Ashley Young?
Absolutely not. And this is a dangerous position when you've got people with the quality of Ben Davies and Christian Eriksen's quality.
So on the right hand side, it's about 12-15 yards away from the attacking right corner flag. Ericsson is over it. Here he is now. Ball towards the near. It's won by Jones, and it was very nearly a second own goal for him. He came off Dyer after Jones, and it's just over the crossbar. It's going to be a goal kick with 5 minutes until 45 are up.
Real good ball in. Lots of pace, lots of wit. Dyer beats the first man, gets over Lukaku. They always say beat that first man, and you've got half a chance. Dyer comes in and really should do better.
Harry Kane being climbed all over by Chris Smalling, so that's going to be a free kick to Spurs. Let's quickly get to Stamford Bridge where the half-time whistle was gone between Chelsea and Bournemouth.
Bakayoko runs across and wins the ball, but that will be the last action of the first half. Chelsea being held by Eddie Howe's resilient Bournemouth. They've huffed and puffed, but they cannot blow the cherries down so far.
John Howick there with that report. That's a massive result for both Bournemouth and Chelsea if it stays the same. 45 minutes to go. Chelsea without a striker. Batshuayi gone. Giroud not signed in time, and Morata out. Here's Spurs coming forward, trying to find Trippier in space, but the ball is too heavy from Heung-min Son.
It's been Tottenham's out ball all evening. Is that ball to Trippier?
Why haven't United responded? It happens every 2-3 minutes.
Exactly right, and it's because Sanchez is playing too high up the pitch. He doesn't really want to defend. He doesn't want to go back and help Ashley Young. Whereas the other side, Martial will be diligent and get back in there and help Valencia. But Sanchez just wants to play high, and he's not tracking Trippier back. And Trippier's got the freedom of Wembley on this right-hand side.
And it's led to both goals here. Heung-min Son has slipped on the far side. He stayed down. Jesse Lingard has robbed it back off him. He's driving forward. Off the ball there as Valencia went down. No foul given. He's out of position. Heung-min Son is back up, but he's not quite right. Eric Dyer is now trying to outmuscle Nemanja Matic on that far side. Matic wins the battle, but he knocks it out of play. So maybe Dyer wins the war as Spurs are still in possession. A couple of incidents there. Heung-min Son goes down. I think it was a slip from him, but then Valencia's gone down off the ball. Much in that for you?
Not really, no. I think it's just a coming together as both players were running backwards.
Here's Harry Kane backing into Phil Jones, right hand side, turns forward, Jones tackles, throw in to Tottenham Hotspur, 2-2 up. 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Still, in our other 8 o'clock UK time kickoffs, the scores remain as they were. Manchester City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0, and Stoke 0, Watford 0. I love this part of the season as we move closer and closer to the end game of the campaign. Every game, every moment vital, scores and results, performances totally unpredictable. United's attacking lineup here has done nothing against Tottenham Hotspur. There's another surprise for us at least. At TalkSport Live, the place to get in touch with us here in the commentary positions. Plenty of people still telling us that Ledley King scored the fastest ever Premier League goal after 10 seconds against Bradford back in the year 2000. Thank you to everyone who got in touch to tell us that. We've seen the second fastest ever here, with Christian Eriksen scoring after 11 seconds of play. The second added by an own goal from Phil Jones. Jose Mourinho, by the way, has already retreated to the dressing room 2 minutes before the whistle's expected. Why does he do that?
I would have thought he's gone in and he's got on the clipboard whatever he's going to do.
Mark Trippier.
Whatever he's going to do for the second half, he's been known to do it before. Sort out his tactics. Clearly the ones he's put out tonight are not working. By the time these guys get in with the added bit of time, it'll be up there, it'll sit them down. This is what we're doing in the second half. And if he makes changes or not, the formation most definitely will change. Something will change.
He's got Mata, Rashford, Pereira, Fellaini, who's usually plan B for Jose Mourinho to come on. Plan A has failed miserably so far as Antonio Valencia has jumped into the back of Heung-min Son and given a free kick away, and Son has been in the wars a bit here in the last few minutes. Tough old battle with Antonio Valencia. He has stayed down, and we get a little break in play, a little breather. Have you ever had a manager or known a manager to continually go to the dressing room early in games?
No, I haven't. He's known for it. I played against him once when I was at Colchester in the FA Cup, 5th round, funny enough. And
Didn't score no goal, did you?
no, we were 1-0 up until the last minute of the first half, and they equalised. But as we walked in, he'd already gone in, and the players opened the dressing room door. And as we walk into our dressing room, the door was shutting slowly, and he was already on the clipboard, and it was already written up. He'd disappeared. So he's done it. He's known for it. What he'll do, I don't know. But if I was those subs down below us, I'd be having a very rigorous warm-up, because he could call on them at any given point now.
Yeah, Spurs in danger of really running away with things here at Wembley Stadium. 45 minutes are now up. Min Son is up on his feet. Looks like he will be coming on for the additional minutes, which will be announced as 2 in a few seconds' time.
Well, hello and welcome back to TalkSport's coverage of Chelsea versus Bournemouth from Stamford Bridge. I'm your host, John Howick. You're listening to Premier League Live. So Chelsea at the break, unable to find a way past a very stubborn and resilient Bournemouth. Tonight, of course, they will know the score when they went in at half-time, that Man United are losing 2-0 to Tottenham, and they could perhaps stand a chance of going second in the Premier League. Certainly close the gap on United, and maybe try and close the gap a little bit on Manchester City, although they currently lead West Brom by 1-0. So far Chelsea have flattered to deceive in this first half. Well, it's been all sparkle but no final magic trick. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0 as we get underway for the second half, and straight away Bournemouth giving away possession in the middle of the midfield. N'Golo Kante to Pedro, 40 yards out. Infield to N'Golo Kante again. Now back to Rudiger, who came on to replace the injured Andreas Christensen. And Courtois will launch this ball long. His first game back for Chelsea after being absent due to injury for the last 4 matches. And Stanislas to Jordan Ibe down the right flank for Bournemouth. Ibe with a cross, low ball which got deflected into the Chelsea box, but recovered and cleared here upfield by N'Golo Kante, who gets it away, but Hazard made the run. N'Golo Kante smashed it clear. Wasn't really in the direction of Hazard's run, wasn't really thinking about it, just wanted to get the ball upfield and away. Eden Hazard playing as a false 9 this evening. During the break, Olivier Giroud was paraded in front of the Stamford Bridge fans. First time as a Chelsea player. £18 million from Arsenal today to sign the Frenchman. Signed an 18th-month contract with Michy Batshuayi going on loan to Borussia Dortmund. That, of course, allowing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to make the club record £55 million move to Arsenal, who lost to Swansea last night. Here's N'Golo Kante to Eden Hazard. Hazard on the edge of the penalty area on this left side. Still Eden Hazard. Thought about going on his left, now on his right, now his left again with the cross. Blocked by Ryan Fraser and behind for a corner to Chelsea. 2 minutes into this second half. Chelsea trying to start on the front foot if possible. Corner now whipped in. Cahill goes with a header. Cleared away by Bournemouth. First time of asking. Hooked away by Ryan Fraser. Up towards Azpilicueta. Tweet here from Seabiscuit, listening on my mobile while driving from Portland, Oregon to San Francisco, California. Lovely to have the commentary filling my car. Come on, you Blues. Hashtag Chelsea. Thanks, Seabiscuit. Godspeed. Here's Marcus Alonso. From the left flank to Eden Hazard, still midway inside this Bournemouth half. Hazard floats it forward in the direction of Azpilicueta, who had his pocket picked there by Daniels, who wins the ball back for Bournemouth and plays it infield to Gosling. Now to Ibe, looking to release Callum Wilson down the right flank, who thought he'd want to throw in, but Gary Cahill came across, takes the throw quickly. It is a Chelsea ball nonetheless, much to Wilson's disagreement. Jay Chaz says, do you think Chelsea still has a chance to win the Premier League this year? Not if Manchester City keep on winning, Jay, unfortunately. I don't really think it's in Chelsea's hands. Here's Eden Hazard. This game's still in their hands, though, at the moment at 0-0. Hazard goes down on the edge of the box looking for a free kick, and he's 1-1 here. Lewis Cook tripping him right on the edge of the D, and this is just the sort of range that Marcus Alonso will be licking his lips at. Scored against Newcastle in the FA Cup from, I think, this very spot on Sunday afternoon. It is just to the right of the D, so it perfectly suits the left footer. Rudiger is also there, as is Hazard, but you just know it's going to be the flowing brown locks of Marcus Alonso. Bournemouth set up a four-man wall. All this defensive work for Bournemouth could be in vain. Marcus Alonso, 20 yards out. They try to put a man on the post. Now they don't. He comes off. Alonso just over the bar with the curler. Slaps his hands together. He knows how close that was. Marcus Alonso, he's so deadly from 20 yards out. Just got under the ball, got the curl, but didn't quite have the dip to get it down. Begovic was scrambling. Once again, Chelsea failing to hit the target. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 0. Begovic will launch this ball long upfield. We'll run you through the two teams in full once again for this second half in just a moment. As Bakayoko's been eased off the ball by Wilson, 1-2 with Ibe. Callum Wilson's throw goal, and Callum Wilson has scored for Bournemouth. How's this for a shot on deadline day? Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. And Bournemouth in truth have been the better side. And once again, Chelsea continue to come undone under Antonio Conte. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Callum Wilson, call as you like. I was just saying how Chelsea had failed to take advantage of their chances. Callum Wilson winning that ball back off of Bakayoko. 1-2 with Jordan Ibe. He just slid the ball under the body of Courtois. Wilson racing onto it, and Eddie Howe is over the moon. All the money in the world, Chelsea could not buy themselves a striker in time to play tonight. Bournemouth have one, and he finds the back of the net. Callum Wilson, 51 minutes into this game. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Here's Eden Hazard looking for a quick reply, straight down the throat of Asmir Begovic. Chelsea are angry, they're hurt, they're down by a goal to 0 to Bournemouth. Hazard with the snapshot from the edge of the box, looking for an instant reply after going down. That Callum Wilson strike. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. What a surprise. Fraser now to Lewis Cook. Bournemouth midway inside Chelsea's half. Bit of confidence now for Eddie Howe's men. Fraser up against Rudiger, but excellent strength there from the German. Just got his body across Ryan Fraser and eased him off the ball behind for a goal kick. And Chelsea sing that they are the champions of Europe, and Bournemouth fans will never sing that, but Bournemouth fans are happy to be singing that they're 1-0 up. Callum Wilson with the goal. Callum Wilson with the surprise. And they come again, Bournemouth, and it is the goal scorer, Wilson. He's got support with Jordan Ibe. Got the assist for that goal. Short pass here by Ryan Fraser. Now into Lewis Cook with the drive. Oh, just wide from 20 yards out. Looked like it took a deflection on the way through. All of a sudden, Chelsea are rattled at the back after going behind. Lewis Cook just let fly with an absolute sizzler. It's just almost stunned the hands of Courtois. Just went wide of that far post. And Chelsea are quick to make a change. Ross Barkley has only lasted 55 minutes here, and Cesc Fabregas has been rolled out. Barkley probably not fully fit enough to make 90 minutes in the Premier League for Chelsea, making his Premier League debut tonight since that move from Everton. He's been given the hook. Cesc Fabregas comes on as Chelsea, would you believe it, trying to rescue this game. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Azpilicueta now back to N'Golo Kante, spins on the ball, gives it off to Azpilicueta. Short passing play between the two, then rolling it back to Cahill, works it wide to Rudiger. A little bit uncomfortable for him to control, but did get it down just in time to lay it off to Fabregas. His first touch of the ball. N'Golo Kante chips it forward. Hazard is onside. No, he's not. He's got the ball past Begovic. Shot's gone wide anyway, but the offside flag is up. So, after that Wilson goal, I will run you through the two teams. Courtois in goal, then it's Cahill, Rudiger, who came on to replace the injured Christensen, who went down with a hamstring injury about 28 minutes into this game, and then Azpilicueta. They make up the back three. So Cahill, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, and then Zappacosta, Kante, Bakayoko, and Alonso, and then Pedro, and now Fabregas, who replaced Barkley. Fabregas in behind, Eden Hazard up front. Free kick for Chelsea after Zappacosta was knocked to the ground. The Bournemouth side, Begovic in goal, then Francis, Steve Cook, Nathan Aki and Charlie Daniels. Midfielder Fraser, Gosling and Lewis Cook. And then Stanislas on the left, Jordan Ibe on the right, and Callum Wilson, the lone striker for Bournemouth, and the man with the lone goal. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 1. Tweet here from DJ, listening from Phoenix, Arizona on extended lunch break. Up to Chelsea, he says. And if you do want to get in touch, you can tweet to @TalkSportLive. It's Everton 2, Leicester 0 in their game. Tottenham 2-0 up at the break against Manchester United. And Man City 1-0 up against West Brom. Brighton 1-0 up against Southampton. So far, this has to be shock of the evening. Chelsea have won 21 of 30 games either side of last summer, drawing 5 and losing just 4. They've won 7 of their last 8 home games. They only lost here twice at Stamford Bridge. Only lost 2 games in the whole of last season. As Eden Hazard gets tripped. Just as they try to move forward again, Fabregas was tripped up. And another free kick for Chelsea. The referee here is not letting Chelsea play it quickly. That's why you can hear the boos. They wanted to get going, but they can't. Being held up here by Lee Probert. Fabregas wide to Rudiger. Infield, really poor pass. Gosling will recover it for Bournemouth. Retrieve it, I should say, but Kante will recover it now for Chelsea. He runs forward. Still N'Golo Kante running 30 yards to the ball. Now after Fabregas, Zappacosta's peeled away on the right. It's a poor ball from Fabregas, but Daniels will slide in anyway to knock it behind for a corner to Chelsea. It's going to be a very long half an hour for Chelsea to try and hold on to this. Well, whipped into the near post from the corner, headed away by Nathan Aki. Drive here by Zappacosta, deflects to the path of Rudiger, who is onside, drags it across goal, and Steve Kirk knocks it behind, but he almost knocked it into his own net. Antonio Rudiger was the quickest man to react after Zappacosta's deflected effort rolled into his path. The German with a low cross, and Steve Kirk knocking it behind to concede the corner. Fabregas will send it in. Bakayoko goes down under the challenge. Referee not interested. Ball cleared only as far as Pedro. He gets clipped late. Referee again not interested. Says Chelsea have the ball and they can play on. Zappacosta with the cross. Header from Bakayoko. It's a soft one, very tame. Safely into the arms of Begovic. 59 minutes gone, despite the cries of Chelsea around Stamford Bridge. It's Bournemouth who lead by 1-0. Callum Wilson giving the Cherries an unlikely lead here at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have not lost in 8 home league games here at Stamford Bridge. Could be ending this evening. N'Golo Kante winning a header for Chelsea, getting the ball down for Eden Hazard. Zappacosta made the run, but Hazard didn't want to give up the ball. Hazard goes down, wants a free kick. Referee says play on because Chelsea have possession, but that continues to build the frustration around Stamford Bridge, and particularly for Eden Hazard, who's being shackled this evening. He has no creative outlet because he has no strike partner tonight. Bakayoko infield to Fabregas. Fabregas gets away from the challenge from Lewis Cook, gives the ball off to Nkante. Straight on the middle of the midfield. N'Golo Kante to Azpilicueta, back into the centre once more for Bakayoko. Now worked to the left flank, Antonio Rudiger. Fabregas to Alonso. Infield, inside the penalty area now. Alonso tries to turn, rolls it back now. Cross will come in. Looking for Hazard, ball didn't quite fall for him the way he would have wanted. Cleared by Bournemouth, only as far as Azpilicueta. Through ball here for Hazard, straight to the feet of Begovic, but it won't matter anyway. He's offside as the Belgian. Once again he tries to pick the lot. Chelsea don't quite have the key to get past Bournemouth. It's their 3rd offside of the evening. Hazard just trying to time that run, but Steve Cook and the rest of the Bournemouth line just managed to step up in time to catch the Belgian out. This is going to be a very, very unlikely scoreline if it finishes like this. We have just under half an hour to go. Chelsea down by 1-0. Olivier Giroud pictured very cold with his coat up, covering his face, just behind that Chelsea bench. They could do with him to give them some sort of spark and something to ignite their attacking play, but he won't be able to feature. Not this evening. That deal done far too late. Begs the question, Chelsea fans, has your club made a mistake? Has Antonio Conte made a mistake letting Michy Batshuayi go out on loan and getting Olivier Giroud in too late for tonight's game? Batshuayi scored twice in that FA Cup win over Newcastle, but hasn't been fancied by Conte in the Premier League. And they think he's going to get some experience playing in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund after Aubameyang completed the trio of moves are going to Arsenal. Here's Lewis Cook, short pass forward for Stanislas, runs in between Zappacosta and Azpilicueta, but the Chelsea defenders outnumber him and win the ball back. Chelsea had more possession in the second half, 73% to 27, but he hasn't really done an awful lot with it. Begovic has only really had one save to make. Michael James Morgan says, feeling anxious for Chelsea in a sunny and warm Los Osos in California. Says, come on you Blues. Thanks for getting in touch, Michael. Remember you can tweet into @TalkSport Live. Bakayoko with a strong challenge, wins the ball back. Pass forward by N'Golo Kante to Zappacosta. There's no one in the middle for Chelsea. Zappacosta with the cross. Cleared away by Bournemouth. And upfield into the path of Callum Wilson, who's all on his own but holds up the ball well under pressure from Gary Cahill. Now it's Stanislas up against the Chelsea captain. Leaves the ball off for Callum Wilson. Then it's player 1-2. Wilson once again is away. Through ball here for Stanislas. Chelsea being cut open once more. Stanislas through the feet of Courtois. And it's Chelsea 0. Bournemouth 2. And it's so sweet from the Cherries. Counter-attacking football at its best. Chelsea coming apart at the back. And Bournemouth, surely with the shock of the evening. Chelsea 0. Bournemouth 2. Junior Stanislas with the goal. Nice one too with Callum Wilson. And it's from such a tight angle, and Thibaut Courtois should have closed his legs. Stanislas just poked it straight through the gap in the Chelsea goalkeeper's legs. And unbelievably, Bournemouth not only lead here at Stamford Bridge, but they lead comfortably. Antonio Conte's side down by 2-0. And all the confusion, Chelsea have made a change. Their young forward, Callum Hudson-Odoi, the 17-year-old, has come on. Hudson-Odoi coming on. Quite catchily replaced there in all the confusion of the celebration of the goal. And it clearly is dire straits for Chelsea right now. Well, who would have thought this? 65 minutes in, Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 2. And Wilson with another effort, that deflects off of Rudiger and behind. His effort from 20 yards out, winning Bournemouth a corner. Biggest shock in the Premier League tonight by far. And the man that Chelsea took off, by the way, was Zappacosta to bring on Hudson-Odoi. Whipped in, hitting the feet of Daniels on the penalty spot. Work back here for Stanislas. Stanislas will knock it in, and Nathan Aki makes it 3-0. Oh my days, what is going on at Stamford Bridge? Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. It's Nathan Aki to rub salt into the wounds of his old club. It's all going wrong for Antonio Conte at Stamford Bridge tonight. They say players shouldn't celebrate against their old club. Nathan Aki doesn't care. The corner was whipped in. Daniels couldn't quite get to it. It was kept alive by Wilson and then Stanislas, and Nathan Aki. He was the only player that latched onto Stanislas's really wild efforts. And there he was to prod it home from close range. Courtois looked for an offside flag. He didn't find one. And I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Chelsea are coming undone. They're capitulating in front of my eyes. At home here to Bournemouth. Chelsea 0. Bournemouth 3. Well, this is just crazy.
on form, on paper, even without a striker for Chelsea, you would have felt they might have struggled tonight, but they probably would have grinded out a victory. But tonight, they are really, really up against it. Bournemouth are 3-0 up. 98 Grad says yes, up the cherries. This could be a bad night that goes from bad to worse at the moment. Nathan Ake, though, has brought down Eden Hazard right on the edge of the box. Some respite for Chelsea now by winning a free kick. Now this is 20 yards out and a chance for Chelsea to try and find a response. Marcus Alonso put the ball on the roof of the net from this distance a few moments ago. Marcus Alonso. The Chelsea fans look to his brown flowing locks to give them a lifeline. It is Alonso, it's straight into the wall, and it's cleared away by Bournemouth to big cheers from their travelling support. We have 20 minutes left here. Alonso now with a drive just wide from 25 yards out. And he's been caught here, but the shot afterwards was caught by one of the defenders closing him down. Alonso just wincing in pain. That was a late tackle from Dan Gosling, flying in, trailing leg. As Alonso with a sighter so close to the far post. I don't quite know how you begin to describe this game. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. Who on earth would have seen this coming? Well, Chelsea 3-0 down. To the damage. Junior Stanislas, who's got one for himself and set up Nathan Ake for the third, is going to come off for Bournemouth. You almost wonder if Eddie Howe now is starting to think about resting players. The job might be done. Will he think the job's done at 3-0 with 20 minutes to go? I wonder. It does mean that Josh King will come on, so it's not exactly much of a respite for the Chelsea defence. This is a huge, huge blow for Antonio Conte, especially with Manchester United losing. And if anything, this is going to wrap up the title even earlier for Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, because they lead by a goal to nil at West Brom. The other scores, by the way: Everton 2, Leicester 0, Newcastle 1, Burnley 0, Southampton 1-1 with Brighton, Man City 1, West Brom 0, of course, and Tottenham 2, Manchester United 0. The only game that's goalless is Stoke Watford. Not goalless here, not anymore. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes have just obliterated Chelsea. Here's Hazard with the cross, Pedro with the header. Did that hit the arm of Nathan Ake? Chelsea think so. Appeals everywhere, but they're desperate appeals for Chelsea. And I think the referee knows. He knows that they're just grasping. Chelsea giving the ball away, then a shot from Pedro straight at Begovic. I'm pretty sure this could be game over at 3-0. How on earth did Chelsea rescue this? Let's just have a look at the replay now. Pedro with the header. Nathan Ake. His arm was there. I can see why Pedro's appealing, but I think it has to be deliberate for the referee to give it. It's inconclusive. We don't have VAR yet in the Premier League. There's been a lot of talk during the FA Cup games, but on that occasion, nothing to refer it to. And so Chelsea do not get a penalty, which is what they would have wanted to try and get their way back into this game. So far, Bournemouth have been excellent value for this lead. No doubt the surprise of the night, but here's a through ball to find Pedro first time. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's all going wrong for the Blues tonight. Ball over the top, Pedro trying to hit a bouncing ball on the edge of the box because Begovic was off his line, and that ball has literally dribbled along the turf and wide of the goal. This is getting embarrassing now. From mid tweeting at TalkSport Live. Let me know how you're feeling, Chelsea fans. Nigel says looks like the Chelsea players have given up on Conte. With just over 15 minutes to go, have Chelsea given up this game? 3-0 down at home to Bournemouth. The side who, before today, were 25 points behind Chelsea. Just shows you the golfing class between the top four and the bottom half of the table. Kazim Abazo says Conte was not prepared for four competitions this season without a striker in the Premier League. You will suffer. Terrific awareness. He's currently not registered in time to play Olivier Giroud, and they sent the other one. They had one available in Michy Batshuayi, but they decided it was better to send him out on loan to Borussia Dortmund. And don't forget selling Diego Costa at the start of the window as well to Atletico Madrid. Alvaro Morata misses out tonight with a back injury, of course. The other attacking option, Willian, he's also injured. So far, Eden Hazard and Pedro, the two men they've looked to score the goals and spark some creativity, haven't been able to do enough. Seas Biscuit said, oh my, this could be a long drive. Come on, Chelsea, stop the bleeding and find the net. Here they are with Hudson Odoi, can't quite link up. Hudson Odoi, the 17-year-old, thrown in at the deep end, making his Premier League debut. Hazard skipping away from the challenge of Ryan Fraser. Pedro, edge of the box, working it wide to Marcos Alonso. Whips the ball in. Hazard with the header. Ball might drop down for Azpilicueta. That's hooked up in the air in the Bournemouth box. It will drop out of the penalty area now for Josh King, who knocks over Fabregas, who wants a free kick. He protests on the floor, but he won't get one. And Josh King will come and collect the ball under pressure from Fabregas, and Fabregas just completely takes out Josh King. That's a cynical challenge. Fabregas didn't get the free kick he wanted, and he just took out King's legs from underneath him. And Josh King, who's come back from an injury today, is down on the turf wincing in pain. Really is a bad challenge from Fabregas, and not surprised the referee Lee Probert has decided to book him. And some Chelsea fans are already leaving. Chelsea down by 3-0 against Bournemouth, and some of the fans inside Stamford Bridge have decided they have seen enough. It's going to be arrivederci, Antonio Conte. It's the end of their evening for some of the Chelsea fans, down by 3-0. Here's N'Golo Kante to Azpilicueta. Through ball intercepted by Nathan Aki. Had a play for a throw in on this near side. Azpilicueta infield to Pedro. Fabregas. Chelsea are running out of time here. 78 minutes gone. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. Bakayoko floats this ball over to the right flank for Azpilicueta. Now to Gary Cahill, to Fabregas, to Pedro, back to Fabregas again. Now into Hazard, little flick for Pedro. Pedro trying to get on his left, but he's outnumbered by Nathan Aki and the rest of the Bournemouth defence, who hack that ball away and clear it into touch. Chelsea trying to set up again. Azpilicueta just ahead of the halfway line on the right flank, rolling that ball across to Gary Cahill, just behind the halfway line, to Bakayoko, into Fabregas. Nice 1-2 with Hazard, now finding N'Golo Kanté. Kanté getting to the edge of the box, pass wide over Azpilicueta, pushed really wide, and Azpilicueta can't quite deliver the cross. It's deflected into the path of N'Golo Kanté. Cahill to Fabregas, back to Hazard. Hazard with a drive, that hit Alonso. Now back to Bakayoko on the edge of the box. Bakayoko's cross, no one is there, and that ball will run clear for Charlie Daniels to get it away, and he cuts inside of Azpilicueta. Chelsea really are being embarrassed here by Bournemouth. Nathan Aki will thump it away. Collected by Callum Wilson. Now to Charlie Daniels. Still Charlie Daniels. Tries to go for the legs of Bakayoko, but he does recover well, the former Monaco midfielder. Well, collected now by Lewis Cook and rolled over to the right flank. And the Bournemouth fans singing "Are You Portsmouth" in disguise. Oh, that is embarrassing. Wilson now inside the penalty area, trying to turn away from Wilson. From Cahill, Wilson with the cross, deflected behind. Rudiger was there to intercept the low ball into the box. And a corner for Bournemouth, who have done all the hard work. They have been clinical. They've not created an awful lot of chances, but the ones they have taken. And maybe Courtois, who's been out for the last 4 games for Chelsea, maybe he's been rushed back too soon, because 2 of those goals he could have easily stopped. Corner played in, been cleared away, only as far as the edge of the box. Fabregas tries to collect it for Chelsea and now launch the counter-attack. Alonso pass forward, easily picked off by Steve Cook, who will thump it down the right flank and out to play into touch for a throw-in. David Harris has tweeted in, he said, "This is both a sign that Chelsea should give their youngsters/academy players a chance instead of constant loanouts, and that first team opportunities and constant playing time are the only way in which players like Aki can develop into what they are now." But Aki on the score sheet against his former employers, and while Bournemouth have a man down, they look like they're going to make another change. And not only will that give a chance for some of the Bournemouth players and Chelsea players to recover, it's given a chance for some of the Chelsea fans to make their way home, try and catch an earlier train. And David Oswald says, "What the heck is happening at Stamford Bridge? I begin to think Conte would make it to the end of the season. I think he's lost the dressing room." David in Alaska, thanks very much. And Chelsea down here by 3-0. If you're joining us late, you've missed a cracker. You've missed probably all the action, to be fair. One last change, it looks like, for Bournemouth. Mark Pugh is going to come on for Jordan Ibe, and Antonio Conte is down on the touchline in front of me, scratching the top of his head, pondering, wondering, contemplating how this all went wrong. Chelsea get us back underway with the throw. Alonso will clear long. Booted forward by Cook. Now down to Wilson. Alonso will get it away. Forward again for Bakayoko. Now to Azpilicueta. Nice work here by Hudson-Odoi. wide pass, which Alonso will run after, will struggle to keep it in play. He's done so well there, Marcos Alonso, but no, he hasn't, didn't keep the whole ball in play. And the referee blows him up on it. And I think that's just a lot of frustration the fans are taking out on the referee. Let's look at the replay on my monitor here to see if Alonso did keep the ball in play. Oh, he did. He did keep the ball in play. 98 Grad has just tweeted again and said, I called it. To be fair, you did, because he tweeted in earlier saying he was listening from the mountains of western North Carolina, and he said, up the cherries, shock the EPL world. They certainly have shocked the Premier League tonight. They lead Chelsea by 3-0. Long clearance upfield by Begovic. Ball dropping down to the feet of Rudiger in front of his own box. Under pressure, trying to get the ball away to Azpilicueta. That's charged down by Mark Pugh. Hear the cheers of Pugh from the Bournemouth fans. Ball thrown away and then smashed out of play once again by Lewis Cook. Chelsea just haven't been able to get a foothold on this game at all tonight. Now Hazard working it wide. Sent forward again by Chelsea in the direction of Hazard. From Vertonghen get there first. Clipped clear by Bournemouth. Down for Lewis Cook. Spray this pass looking for Mark Pugh. Intercepted by Rudiger. And Rudiger will launch it long over the top looking for Hudson-Odoi against Ryan Fraser, who just hooks that ball out of play for a throw-in. We have got just over 5 minutes of added on time. Looking on from the bench is David Luiz. Remember they announced the signing of Olivier Giroud earlier today. Wasn't registered in time to play in this game. I wonder if Roman Abramovich perhaps should have done his work a little bit earlier in this transfer window. Emerson Palmieri is there tonight as well, Chelsea fans. But the two new signings will not be happy or very pleased with what they've seen. Kante now to Pedro, down to Rudiger. Pass wide for Azpilicueta. Finding Fabregas to Azpilicueta, drags it back across goal. It's blocked by Steve Cook and out to play for a throw-in. Up in the air and away by Bournemouth, collected by Alonso, who's shoved to the ground over on the far side by Josh King. That'll be a free kick. Lewis Cook now in the middle of the midfield. Fabregas winning the ball back from Pugh. 30 yards out. Pedro now to Hudson-Odoi with the shot. Took a big deflection. It will go wide and Chelsea will win a corner, but they really don't have enough time to turn this game around. All the damage done in a 15-minute spell in the second half. Ball whipped in, header drops down safely for Begovic, who takes a tumble to the turf to try and soak up a few minutes. Ball cleared away now by Azpilicueta. Pedro would try and give chase, and got a Kante running forward from the halfway line through the middle of the midfield now. Got a Kante opens up ahead of him, off to Hudson Odoi, the young striker with a shot, an easy save for Begovic. He's not had to save an awful lot, Asmir Begovic. Bournemouth had defended well, and he's been largely untroubled this evening. On that occasion, solid save. But this is all too little, too late from Chelsea. Headed down by Pedro to N'Golo Kante, now to Rudiger. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. Alonso over the left flank. The 90 minutes are up. Chelsea, though, will have to endure 4 minutes of added on torment, I mean time. Gary Cahill, short pass to N'Golo Kante. Chelsea will be asking the question how on earth they've lost this one. Pedro whips the ball in, it's cleared away. And Callum Wilson winning the ball off of Fabregas. Had to be careful there because Bournemouth are looking to break. Lewis Cook knocked down by Bakayoko. The referee calling up a free kick for Bournemouth, and they'll make one final change. And it will be the goal scorer, the hero of the evening, Callum Wilson, coming off. The introduction of the Frenchman Blaise Mousset the last few minutes or so of this one, but Callum Wilson with the opening goal that led to Chelsea's downfall. 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes, giving Bournemouth surely the shock of the evening. 3-0 winners they're going to run out here at Stamford Bridge as we tick away the final few minutes. It's Courtois now rolling the ball out to the feet of Marcus Alonso. Some Chelsea players are still trying, but a lot of them have given up the ghost. A lot of the fans have given up the ghost. They've already headed home. Bakayoko now to Eden Hazard. Alonso with the cross. Up here for Hazard on the volley from close range. Well, he met the ball on the full, but couldn't get the shot on target. And for Chelsea and Antonio Conte, it's been a very disappointing and embarrassing night at Stamford Bridge. Hazard couldn't get the shot on target. And Bournemouth They're going to run out 3-0 winners here. Referee Lee Probert waving play on for Bakayoko as he gets away from the challenge of Dan Gosling. Now Alonso, his pass just hitting the heels of young Hudson-Odoi, then cleared by Ryan Fraser down the right flank. Rudiger will knock it back to Courtois. We've got 30 seconds left of added on time. It's felt like added on torment for Chelsea. Long ball launched into the box, cleared away by Steve Cook in the Bournemouth defence. Not only are they going to come away with a clean sheet from Stamford Bridge, but they're going to pick up a vital and highly surprising 3 points tonight. Referee Lee Probert looks at his watch. Alonso will come forward. Still Marcus Alonso. Now to Fabregas. Time for one last roll of the dice by Chelsea. One last attack to give their home fans something to cheer about tonight. Ball comes into the box. It's cleared away by Charlie Daniels, then by Lewis Cook. And there goes the final whistle. Chelsea 0, Bournemouth 3. Bournemouth doing all the damage in the second half. 3 goals in the space of 15 minutes. A capitulation by Antonio Conte's Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Their first defeat here at home in 8 games. And for Bournemouth, success tastes oh so sweet for the Cherries.